What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. We've had pretty big moves on Bitcoin since our last update. So, what happened on this drop and what's happening right now? Well, first of all, in our previous update, if you remember, Bitcoin was bouncing off our support level at $60,700. However, personally, I wasn't interested in opening long positions because I was leaning a bit more bearish on Bitcoin. In any case, if Bitcoin did break back below this low, I wanted to see a move back below $53,000. And what happened? We lost this low, and then on Monday, the markets just went absolutely crazy, and we got a break back below $53,000 as expected. And what happened on this drop was actually pretty simple. It's the exact same thing that happened on this high. So what happened there? Bitcoin moved up, took out $70,000, and then reversed to the downside. And what happened on this low? We got the exact same thing. Bitcoin came down, took out $50,000, and then reversed to the upside. If you want a bit more confidence, of course, we did have imbalances to be recovered. So the first imbalances came down towards $50,900, but then we had one final imbalance below this range, which came in at $49,700. So that's basically what happened. Bitcoin came down, broke the psychological level at $50,000, filled the imbalances, and then reversed to the upside. Now, personally, unfortunately, I wasn't able to trade any of this because Bybit a couple of days ago discontinued their services in France. And even though I don't live in France anymore, long story short, my account got identified as a French account. This means that I didn't have access to their trading platform anymore. It was a bit frustrating, honestly, to not be able to trade any of this. I wasn't really able to focus on the charts as well because I had to look for a new exchange until Bybit reviews my account. In any case, that's basically what happened. Again, we came down $50,000, imbalances, and then reversed to the upside. And when we saw this bounce, I updated the Discord and I wanted to see a move back towards $56,000 for this first imbalance to get filled. And what happened? We came up towards this imbalance, as you can see, $56,000, which did offer a bit of a rejection of just over 3%, as you can see right there. But then Bitcoin did end up reversing up and broke back above this high. So what's happening right now and what should you expect next? Well, as usual, let's outline the levels that we have on the charts. Above us, I'm mainly focused on one resistance area, which is this candle. So this would come in between $58,100 and about $59,300. So if we do come up and test this area, and I see a reaction that I like, of course, I will be interested in entering short positions. But then above this area, we have one very important level to be reclaimed, which comes in at about $60,000. That's because we have an imbalance, we have a bearish order block, we have a psychological level, but more importantly, if Bitcoin is able to come up and break this level, this would represent a shift in market structure on Bitcoin. Because what happened on this drop? We had a drop, a bounce, a drop, Bitcoin pretty much went sideways, and then a final drop to the downside. So we have a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low. So if Bitcoin is able to come up and break above this area, now you'll have a low, but then a higher high, as I said, above this high, which would be a pretty bullish sign on Bitcoin. So again, if Bitcoin is able to break above $60,000, this would be a very bullish sign in my view. But before reaching this level, as I said, we do have a pretty important resistance area at around $59,000. But then below us, just like in the previous update, I actually don't see too many important support levels. The only one that I can see right here would be right there, which comes in at about $52,000. So if Bitcoin comes back down and is able to hold this level, yes, you could expect the bounce back to the upside. However, if we lose this level, I would expect to break back below $49,000. And the next level that I'm focused on would represent a bit of a drop on Bitcoin, because if you take the volume profile of this rise, I would like price to revisit the point of control, which comes in at $43,000. And that's of course if we lose $50,000. So again, if we lose $52,000 actually, I would expect to move towards $43,000. And honestly, that's mainly it for the charts. As usual, I keep it very simple. We have one very important resistance above us, which does come in at about $59,000. And then we have one important level to be broken, which comes in at around $60,000. And as I said, if we do break above it, it would be a pretty bullish sign on Bitcoin. However, as long as Bitcoin remains below $60,000, I would remain a bit more cautious on the charts. We have a very big wick on the daily chart, and these tend to be recovered. If I go back in time, look what happened there. We have a big wick, it's recovered, and then you have a reversal. We have a big wick, we come down and fill this wick. We have a big wick right there, Bitcoin comes down, fills this wick, a big wick, again Bitcoin comes down and fills this wick. Another big wick, which was filled later in the future, and one last example, a pretty big wick, Bitcoin goes up, comes back down, fills this wick, and then reverses to the upside. And that's why when I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter call for this to be the bottom, while Bitcoin is still looking very weak on the higher time frames, again as I said, I would remain a bit more cautious, at least until we break $60,000. But until then, Bitcoin does have very important resistance levels to clear. So with that said, that was mostly it for this update. As usual, if you have any questions, I'm available inside the Discord. So see you soon everyone, and good luck.